evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. It's Thursday, November 26th, 2020. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, there's some changes to this year's Tullahoma Fire Department's toy drive. A Montlow teacher has been recognized for a national award, and Tullahoma Alderman Rupa Blackwell makes her case for Tullahoma to have a diversity council. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Hi, I'm Fran Gray with Alzheimer's Tennessee. When you receive a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease for yourself or someone you love, please know that you do not have to go through this journey alone. Alzheimer's Tennessee is here for you to provide support and education, all the help you may need to get through this challenge. Our number is 931-434-2348. We encourage you to give us a call. We're here to help.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Welcome back. News Leader's John Gray recently spoke with Alderman Rupa Blackwell about Tullahoma's newly proposed Diversity Council.
About 6 months ago, I had a couple of people reach out to me saying that they wanted to talk about, but first of all, they talked about racism in our town, and they wanted to discuss different ways about, and you remember there used to be a diversity council before.
Yeah, we were part of that.
People were reaching out to me like, hey, let's talk about how we can talk about different cultures, different ideas within our community, and what kind of process this would look like. So in these conversations I started having with people, I started hearing from lots of different members and groups within our community, and it started to grow to be not just a conversation about a cultural shift within our community, which is mainly just education,
right.
But also ways in which our city can help better support our communities.
Right.
And so in these conversations and communications from Pastor Torbert, Stephen Hovatter, a lot of different people who reached out to me, the disability community, I started realizing that it seemed like there was a need for us to have a larger conversation with our city government. You know, what I'm hearing from these people is that they want to have a group where this can even be discussed. So how do we get an idea of what direction we're going in with this? Because, you know, I'm hearing from the community all these different things. Some things aren't feasible, some things are that we can work on. And what do we do? And she said the first thing you need to do is have an open meeting. Right, you need to say, let's have an open meeting, discuss the Diversity Council, an idea of it, and what type of direction we can see coming from it.
Right.
So we had an open meeting, and that is literally for where, I don't know if anybody else watches Parks and Rec as much as I do, but it's where anybody can come and voice anything that they have to say to us.
Right.
Okay, I didn't censor people by any means. They were allowed to say whatever they wanted, and what I heard were some things that we have zero jurisdiction over, but things that there are absolutely ways we can work toward. Right. One of the things that came out of it is, you know, the city has just is putting into place an ADA accessibility plan, and the meeting that was held to even put that plan together was in a non-ADA accessible building. And so members of the disability community, even though it was an open meeting, couldn't even attend.
Couldn't even get there.
And it's accidental. These things are accidental, right? It's not on purpose to make people feel not included, but sometimes if you have a voice there to say, hey, have you thought about this? That's what the goal was, right? So in hearing these different issues that we're hearing within the community, we said, all right, it sounds like there's something that a council can do to try to bridge this gap, to be, in all honesty, the eyes and ears for our city board and for our city government, rather than the city board and city government having to go out there continuously all the time to hear this feedback, right? This is almost to bridge, and in some ways make it a little bit easier on us.
Sure.
Let's create bylaws that we can use so that when we create this council or commission or whatever it's going to be named, we'll be able to figure out ways to solve those problems, okay?
Right.
So, perfect, another example, and a lot of this does come from the disability community. They've been very vocal and great. We have a large Spanish-speaking population with disabilities, and we don't have information in Spanish. So one of the things they're saying is, housing and all these different things, which Tullahoma Housing Authority is something that the city government participates in. We need it in Spanish. Simple solve, right? These bylaws that we were creating then went through our attorney. Stacy Lynch was our attorney who wrote these, and then they went through Steve Worsham, and we went back and forth, but a little bit, and until we got to the point where this is the bylaws. And one of the things I want to point out is the bylaws themselves. By creating bylaws, this is not like a mayor's initiative like the Get Fit and the Go Green. By creating bylaws, it creates some perpetuity. It allows for this to be more like the Tullahoma Arts Council, more like, I'm trying to think of the Sports Council used to be, but it's not anymore, where it sits under the city with actual bylaws attached to it. So it makes it so that you have to follow certain rules, the Open Meetings Act, etc., but it formalizes it.
Right.
Serve as a source to network and share information on city-specific programs, activities, and policies that enhance opportunities for all of our residents, and provide input related to city-specific programs, activities, and policies. And when we were talking about the ADA accessibility plan, right, that's where it fits into there, where we could say, hey, this is coming up. Let's make sure that this place is ADA accessible so that the nonprofits that are going to want to come and bring people with disabilities to listen and to give input, they are able to go.
This is not strictly racial matter.
Definitely not. No.
So don't chomp your foot, but stomp your foot and chomp your lip about that. The reference was made that there was almost like there was fear that this committee would write legislation that would operate within the city without the city having the right to approve or disapprove it, which is wrong.
Give input.
Input.
We'll be right back after these messages.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
I'm Philip Bourne, STEMI Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stan McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stan McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what the difference our detail can make.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Welcome back. With the Tullahoma Wildcats' record-breaking season coming to an end last weekend, Coach John Olive wanted to give credit to the support team that helped make it possible.
Let's start with the video people that are part of the process. Bob Lamorier and Terry Daniel and a student named Connor King do all of our video. When our coaches sit down to watch, they get 3 different shots. You're seeing one of the shots that they get, but we get what's called a wide shot, and we get an end zone shot on every play, and That's one of the first places to start, and then let's move to the weight room where I think we've made tremendous progress. This is by far and away the strongest team I've ever been around. We're physically strong as well as being talented as football players. Coy Sis heads that up. Larry Campbell works with him, and even Whitney Morris comes in there and fills in when we need somebody else in the weight room. And then you got an athletic training staff, and I'm going to start with maybe Heath's right-hand person, and that's his daughter Caroline. She's a senior. I don't know what we'll do without her next year, but one of the things that we've had to do is we have to take a roll and a temperature every day this year, and Caroline has done that, and she does a lot of other things that Heath and I'll both really miss. Heath McCullough is our head trainer. Ricky Christie works with him as a trainer, and those two guys, especially the last 3 weeks, they have been super busy at trying to keep us patched together. Part of it is that it's just that time of the year for this sport. The other thing is we just had some freak things happen, like turf toes happen, and we had a toe get stepped on in the locker room this week, and the toenail had to be removed because it was damaged so bad. And there are things that happen, and it's part of it, and you just
things happen.
Next man up, or hopefully get them patched back together. Then you get to the, I guess, on the field staff, and our defense is headed up by Coy Sis, and he does a lot of the head coaching stuff when I'm not around, as I also carry the title of AD, and so I'll go do something for athletics while he takes care of football. He coaches the linebackers. Our defensive tackle coach is Coach Johnson, and Coach Johnson does a good job with those guys. He came over from the middle school 2 years ago and replaced Coach Britton. You got Coach Searcy. Corey Searcy does the defensive ends and pretty much oversees the entire defensive line. Secondary is handled by Brady Goodman and Jared Olive, and Brady pretty much takes care of the corners, and Jared takes care of the safeties as they work together. And then on the offensive side, you got Mo Torres and Tim Lemon who do the offensive line. You have Maurice Shaw who does running backs. You got Caleb Olive that does the quarterbacks, and you've got Jared Olive and Brady Goodman that do the wide receivers. And then Michael Holliday takes care of all the kicking game now, and works with those kickers. And there's a reason we're able to do some of those unique things you've seen for the last couple of years, is because he works with those kickers on doing those special pop-ups, or in situation of Justice Chadwick. He has been instrumental in helping Justice to progress to be one of the best kickers in our state. And Justice will bounce back next year as a senior, and you watch and see how far he pounds the football. I bet he puts a bunch of them out of the end zone next year, because he has gotten bigger and stronger. And his kicking coach, personal kicking coach that he goes to, told him he had to weigh 185 pounds before a Division I school to even think about looking at him. Justice weighed probably 145 at the time. Justice, if you look at him now, he is getting stronger, and he's hurt. He played hurt. He injured his back, and has been that way for the last half of the season now. So he's toughed his way through it and has done really well for us.
Yeah, he has.
I think I wrapped it up there. I maybe left somebody out.
No, we need.
I could tell you about our travel crew, because we got a travel crew too that takes care of that.
We need to get to Randy Wilson and Jimmy Hollingsworth.
I was going to say Jimmy and Randy and Tom Fulton. Ricky Christie kind of heads that crew up.
More News Leader is coming up in a moment.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. John Gray spoke with Tullahoma Fire Chief Richard Chasteen about the Tullahoma Fire Department's annual toy drive and what parents need to do to sign up for it this year.
We are working on the toy drive, the Tullahoma Fire Department toy drive. Over 40 years we've been doing this with the help of citizens and businesses, but surprisingly enough, this year it's going to look a little different.
Yeah,
I know that's out of nowhere, but
like nothing else is different.
You know, how many more weeks have we got of 2020? That's not
Too many.
Yeah, not many. Thank goodness. We're going to be doing the sign-ups like we always do at CD Stamps, but we're going to require they wear a mask. One person from each family comes. Don't bring any children. Have your information with you, proof of residency inside the city limits, like a utility bill, something like that, and a birth certificate of each child that you want us to help. Okay. And like I said, wear a mask. Don't bring any friends or relatives or children with you. One person per family is all that's going to be allowed in the building. Okay.
Now, what building is that?
CD Stamps
on
South Jackson on the 4th of December, which is Christmas parade night. So that morning, Friday morning at 9 o'clock, and Saturday morning after the Christmas parade at 9 o'clock is when we're doing the sign-up.
Just great, doesn't it?
So it works out good. Kurt with the rec department's nice enough to let us use the CD Stamps building. So we'll have all that set up. And then this year we are not taking toy donations. We are only taking money, cash, checks, money orders, stuff like that. Tullahoma Fire Department.
So will you take, if somebody comes in and has a Walmart card and hands it to you?
A gift card, absolutely, absolutely. The good thing about it is Walmart gives us a discount, and we also get it tax-free. So we can usually get 20 to 30% more than the normal person could go buy.
Right.
So this year we're doing it because we just don't want to take a chance on taking toys in and maybe somebody in the house that it came from was possibly sick or something, and when we give that toy to a child and before they even open it, they're licking it and doing whatever. You know how kids are. So we just want to kind of be as safe as we can this year.
Eating the candles off of the Christmas tree.
You know, I've done some of that. So, you know, I mean, we just want to be as careful as we can and still get some help out there to some families that are struggling this year. We have got a building secured. We'll give that information out when we do the sign-ups, and those people will be encouraged to drive, and we'll do a drive-through. They'll just pull up, give us their identification number. We'll bring the box out, put it in the car, and they'll drive off.
Instead of delivering to the house.
Instead of having a big line, and we typically don't deliver, but they all come and they have to stand in line. And sometimes, you know, we have 200 families.
Right.
So we'll have a line, you know, wrapped around the building wherever we're at. And it just creates a lot of exposure potential that we're trying to minimize this year. I always think about David Pennington, the old county mayor.
Right.
Sitting and telling me how the fire department brought toys to his family when he was a kid. He grew up in Tullahoma and had a tough time, and he said, I'll never forget it, you know. So you never know. You never know
It's
who
the
you're helping.
ripples.
And that's right.
You
That's
cast a stone, I've said that many times and written some stuff about it. You cast a stone into the pond, it's not the big splash that matters, it's the ripples that go on forever. And that's just, that story right there is proof of that.
Yeah, and we have usually about 200 families, and you know, we do what we can to screen them. But you know, we're not going to turn anybody away. If they live in the city limits and they ask for help, we're going to help them. And if it's something they're doing that's not straight up, they're going to have to answer for that. We're going to help anybody.
Right.
You know, we're going to help whoever we can. We need $20,000.
$20,000.
So
you got a big checkbook?
Yeah, we've been getting some money already, but we need a lot of help because we're having to buy everything.
Think about all the food that you haven't bought in a restaurant since all of this COVID stuff. Think about you've been cooking at home. Think about all the money you've saved.
Piled up.
Cuddle it, write a little check, and take it over to the
toy drive. The toy drive.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
Many Tennesseans are wondering, do masks really fight the spread of COVID-19? A recent study shows they do. 2 hairstylists worked for several days with respiratory symptoms and serviced patrons in close contact. Both stylists later tested positive for COVID-19. 139 clients were exposed to coronavirus after being in direct contact. Both stylists and their customers opted to wear masks. No COVID-19 symptoms were identified among the 139 exposed clients or their secondary contacts. Out of the clients that were tested, all tested negative for COVID-19. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Welcome back. Motlow State selected Assistant Professor of Geography Charlie Coffey as its nominee for the Outstanding First-Year Student Advocate Award. Each year, college presidents nominate one educator to the National Resource Center for the first-year experience and students in transition. Dr. Michael Torrance, Motlow president, said, quote, having a profound understanding of community, college students, barriers, and challenges, Charlie transformed the Motlow first-year experience curriculum into a living, dynamic, interactive, and meaningful class that is practical, portable, and profitable for students as well as the faculty. She developed a curriculum and syllabus that integrates core skills, critical thinking, writing, reading growth, resilience, intelligence, and tenacity. The class is offered both on ground and virtually to support varied schedules. She believes in the power of education to change lives. She believes everyone has a right to an education, and she is compelled to serve as an educator. Charlie Coffey is an advocate for every student who walks into a classroom seeking an education, end quote. Coffey leads Motlow's first-year experience success as a component of the college's Quality Enhancement Plan, a course designed to empower students to reach their educational and career goals. She has worked at Motlow since 1983 in multiple capacities and roles, including Director of Admissions, Director of Public Relations and Marketing, Director of Academic Services, and Director of the Education Department. Ms. Coffey said, quote, "Believe in our students and in providing resources to enable them to be successful. This program provides foundational information and skill-building activities to help students hone critical thinking skills that will follow them through college courses and into life beyond college. I believe in the validity of this program, and I am honored to be nominated for this award," end quote. The selection committee will consist of a national panel composed of members and former members of the National Advisory Board of the National Resource Center, past outstanding first-year student advocates, and other leaders in American higher education. On Thursday, December the 3rd at 4:30 p.m., everyone is invited to be part of the celebration of our 63rd annual Christmas Parade Grand Marshal Candy Couch. Participants will gather safely outside the historic South Jackson Civic Center to honor our Grand Marshal and light the Tullahoma Christmas tree. It will also be live streamed on the Tullahoma Chamber's Facebook page to allow the community to watch Candy Couch officially kick off Christmas in Tullahoma. Everyone gathering will be required to follow all CDC guidelines at this event. And stay with us, we'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1909 at 76 degrees. The record low was in 1950 at 10 degrees. The average high for this day is 56 and the average low is 35. Partly cloudy for tonight with a low of 42. Chance of rain for Friday with a high of 67 and a low of 45, and that chance of rain continues through Saturday, with a high of 58 and a low of 38. And that's our News Leader Report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evening at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader on 6. Have a very safe and happy Thanksgiving.